Hello friends, welcome back to the Blind Model Builder. My name is Rod, I'm the Blind Model Builder. If this is your first time watching my channel, welcome. If you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe. Comment, let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't. If you are someone that has watched my videos in the past, welcome back. Love to see you guys here. Love your comments. I really appreciate it. It actually tells me what you guys want to see. And what we're going to do today is going to be an unboxing of the Summer of '69 group build. Just 1 minute. I will get the... I had to make sure I have my notes here so I can actually tell you guys who is going to be sponsoring this group build. This group build is going to be hosted by Grant over at Diamond State Speed Shop and Bill at LOKIS Scale Shop. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Locus, but his is Locus Scale Models. I got to read my own writing. It gets hard sometime. But I will leave a link to both of those below. So with that, let's get the camera turned around and let's take a look at what we're going to be doing. And by the way, I actually put out a little just a little question last when I first announced I was going to start this group build and showed what I had to do for it. And I didn't have a lot of people respond to it. I had a person, Ed over there at One Team, wanted to see the Mercury. That one might still come up, Ed. But I had a couple others that wanted to see the '69 Barracuda. So let's take a look at that. Well, this is the kit that we are going to be going with. This is a '69 Plymouth Barracuda. I might have some specialty parts to put in this that may have been period correct. We'll see. I got to see one if they're going to fit. So we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But this is going to be as close as I can make it to a replica of my late mother-in-law's '69 Barracuda, who, if you're up here in the Idaho area in the Treasure Valley, would have been known as Real Red. That was the license plate she had on it. My mother-in-law was a redhead. This car will be red. So we'll go ahead and get it unboxed. Just a minute. Now, if I remember the rules right, the car had to be a '69 model year. It had to be an unboxed kit. And this one here is new, and it is... I did take the wrapping off it before, but let's go through and see what this kit has. I'm not going to undo the chrome just yet, but it looks like, if I'm looking at this chrome right, this thing has a Hemi with it. Well, I might not have to go after an aftermarket engine afterweight. I may not have to go after an aftermarket engine anyway. Excuse me, I had a little bit of the burps there. So, chrome looks really good. So far, this is looking all right. I don't know if I'll be going with those wheels. We'll have to see. Looks like it has a set of center lines in it. We'll have to see about those. If I went with a true replica of my mother-in-law's, I would have to go with the Chrysler wheel, or the ones down here, but we'll see on that one. Glass looks good. We're going to leave it in the package. Tires. Look at that. Got us some white line or some, white wall tires. This is one I'm thinking I want to go with a white letter on, to be honest with you. May have to look at the aftermarket and see what's out there from VCG resins or J's resins. They both, well, and also Iceman resins. Don't forget them. They all make excellent wheels and tires. So here we got the plastic bits. We got the body and such. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Get it unwrapped here. This is just like Christmas now, isn't it? Get to take out the Christmas gifts. So, at first glance of the body, the molds look pretty clean. Not a whole lot of flash on this guy. Now, what I'm going to be doing with this car is the body will be red. The roof right here is going to be vinyl. And it will have a black stripe that comes along the side here. I got to get over to my in-laws and take a little bit closer look at her car. Make sure I get the proportions all right. Because this car is going to be built as a tribute to her, and it's going to be given to my father-in-law. So it's something to let him know that I miss her. I lost my mom 10 years ago, and Miss Patsy, she stepped up and she was a mom to me when I really needed one. So she means a lot to me. Her family means a lot to me. Now let's get into the engine parts. Let's get off of that downer note there. And the other thing I'm going to show you in this video is how you'll notice I've got my separating bin down here. This is a trick I learned from Papa, or Jim, over at Papa's Model Workshop. You guys haven't checked out his channel, please do so. He does great work. He's a phenomenal builder. So let's see what we got here. We'll start with this, I guess. Looks like we got our engine. Looks pretty much MPC, so nothing too wild there. It's got a rear spoiler. Don't know if I'll use that or not on this kit. And I'm hoping those are seat backs, because otherwise I will be finding a separate set of seats. We'll have to look at that as well. And it's got a roll bar in it. And that is definitely the 69. If you look at that dashboard, 69 Plymouth dashboard in its glory. There's nothing too special about those. Now we'll get into this next set of parts. Open it up. And I wonder if I got, let's try that again. There we go. And pull these parts out. Got the hood. Hood right there, and that looks nice and clean. Looks like you can cut it out to add the bigger engine. Okay, those may have just been seat backs. That's good news, because those seats don't look quite right. Well, we'll have to see what it looks like there. The firewall. If you look at the firewall there, there's some really nice detailing there. Good job, MPC, on that. Be able to pick out those wires and stuff. Be really nice to do. And let's see. Next, we've got our hood scoops. All different kinds of hood scoops there. These look like they might be some maybe side scoops. Don't think I'll be using those. And the back of I believe that would be the back of the rear seat. If you didn't know, these Barracudas, you could get them with the rear seat folded down. Made for really nice to be able to load stuff with those. Oh, here we go. Those are the seats I'm looking for. That looks proper. We'll be going with these stock seats right here. We'll be able to pick out some of the details in them. The interior on this will be black. It's not going to be anything too terribly special. So let me go ahead and show you how I'm going to separate these parts out and get it ready for body prep and then primer and paint. Just a bit. Almost forgot to go over the wonderful MPC directions. If you look here, the engine is pretty straightforward, and wow, does that look like it looks like probably a 318 or possibly a 340 for one block. Interior pretty easy to do. Gives you the two options there, which is nice. Then we get down into the third set here. Yep. And oh, look at that. They actually give you the cut or the what the optional vinyl roof should look like. So I don't need to go look at my in-laws' car for that one. Cool. And when I do the vinyl roof, I am going to be using the tape method. I'm sure some of you have seen that. And when I get to that, I'm actually going to be tagging a certain individual in it. Ed over at One Team Garage just did a vinyl roof on a, I think it was a 68 GTX or Roadrunner. That's what it was, a Roadrunner. And he had done just using the paint method where you're kind of splattering the paint on. I have not tried that before. I've heard it works. I have done the masking tape, and that also works. So I'll go over that when I get to it. But then we get to the final assembly here. And this is what, or you can do the drag version. Okay, so it looks like this kit will be done in, oh boy. Basically 4 steps. So nothing too hard there. I do want to take a look at the decals. This might actually have the decals in it that I need to pick out the stock vinyl decals that went on alongside, or that were on the side of the car. I really hope it does, and nope, this particular one doesn't. This one's got the racing stripes. They're not the ones I am looking for, so I guess I will be making some decals. Actually, I won't. My wife will be making decals. She likes to play with printers and stuff like that. That is her forte. I don't mess around with that kind of thing. So I will come back and we will go ahead and separate this out into the bin, into its bins getting ready for paint. Now, I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, and I'm sorry to say, last few times I've been in there, they have not carried this in stock. I don't know if you can still get it online, but it was actually, for the money, it was a great value. It was $8.49. Came with all of these little bins that you could put your parts in. And if for some reason you didn't need a couple of the bins, you needed, parts were too large or whatever, you take them out, set them aside, and you wind up using them for other things. But it had a nice locking mechanism here, holds everything in nicely. So yeah, I am sad that they don't carry this anymore, because it came in handy. Well, let's go ahead and get this separated out. And I'm sorry if my head or anything gets in the way. But yeah, there's certain things like the tires. I'm going to keep those in the box. The chrome will stay in the box. The glass will also stay in the box. That way all of that is kept clean. I'm not going to worry about paint spilled over, anything like that. And let me see. I'll get my handy dandy sprue cutter. And I have to admit, I really do enjoy working out here in the garage. This has actually been a real pleasure for me. A lot more room, a lot more space. But anyway, what I'll start doing is I'll just start cutting some of the pieces apart. Like, those are both interior pieces. They'll stay together. We'll just put those in the bin back here. We have the back seat here. Those will also wind up going back there. And it looks like we have a, oh, where you at? There you are. Looks like we have a lower body valance here. It's probably the rear pan. We'll just take that out and we'll put that in the stuff for body color, which will probably be this larger bin back here. That also looks like it's probably something for the body, maybe the front valance, or we'll have to see what that is. And oh, I gotta get my glasses out for this one. There are another two parts there that look unfamiliar to me. I have no idea what those are, so at this point, these little parts, until, oh, where are you at? There you are. These little parts right here, those are going to go into body color till I figure out what they are. And of course, the hood, it goes into body color. That'll go right back here. The firewall will go into body color. Now, I know on a lot of these old Chryslers, the chassis was body color as well, with the frame being just called out parts. All right. Here we got some little bits. Well, we got some seat belts. Those will go into the interior color. But we got some little bits here. Those are just going to kind of set aside. Seat belts right there. It had the pieces for the these things right here, which I absolutely hate. There they are. Those little deals there, they always seem to get misplaced. So generally when I go into paint, I will already have a lot of this stuff put together, and we'll kind of go over that here in a little bit. If you guys ever watch HPI Guy, he's one of the first channels I started watching when I started getting into building models again. And I'll tell you something. He started building the way he builds his models, I'd have never thought of doing it that way. And now that is the way I do it. It is, to me, just makes sense now. Here we have our dashboard, steering wheel. Those are all interior colors. Those are black. We have a roll bar, which we're not going to be using for this. And then this is going to be our wheel backs. Those will also be black, but a different black. Now let's get into this piece right here. That's going to be our, what do we call that? Our front, our radiator support. That will go into body color, and we'll just pick out the radiator later. And I am not going to be using these front seats, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove those from the spur. They will go into a parts bin. You never know. But that'll be body color. We'll just kind of set that aside. When they fell on the floor, we'll get that in a bit. The roll bar gets set aside. And here we have some of the other parts. It looks like probably a dual carburetor setup for your engine, some slap bars, mirrors. Got some exhaust here. Exhaust is actually going to go into another color altogether. So we'll go ahead and pick those out. Now, as far as what I'm going to use for paint on this, I haven't completely decided. I'm kind of leaning towards going with a, what do you call it? With tropical glitz on this one. But the slap bars, that kind of thing. Oh, this is going to be a little, here we go. We'll separate it out like this. We're going to call the mirrors, the rear spoiler, that kind of thing. We're going to go body color for now. The engine, if we wind up going with a Hemi version, it'll be orange. The slap bars, well, there's some other pieces here. I'm not real sure what they are. The slap bars will wind up going into a black. We're gonna go engine pieces for now. We'll go here with those. Speaking of which, we have some engine pieces. We got some long tube headers here. Those are actually gonna wind up in more of a metallic, so they're gonna go in here. We've got our radiator. That's gonna go into a black, not necessarily, let me see if I can do this. I'm sorry, I'm doing some of this stuff off camera, but I try to leave as little or as much of the styrene, the sprue. Gives me something to grab onto when I'm painting. And we do have some pieces here that will wind up being like suspension black right there. Also a radiator hose that'll go in there. And we have our engine block. Depending on if this winds up being a Hemi or if it winds up being a standard, I guess this, I don't know if this, you guys that are into the modeling will have to let me know, would this be a representation of a big block, or is that going to be more of like the small block, the 318 styling? But that'll just go into engine parts. Where do we have engine parts? We have them in here. Actually, all of this stuff, for the most part, will wind up being engine parts, with the exception of the belts. Those will wind up going into the black section. And we have there. Now, again, we have our interior pieces. No, that is an interior piece, but I think that's if you go back seat delete, if you decide to go drag car. I'll have to look at the directions, and they probably do not explain what they are, so yeah. There's a couple of things here. I'm just not real sure what they are, so we're gonna have to look into it. I'm not gonna de-sprue any of this just yet. So we're just, for now, we're gonna call it body parts because that's the biggest bin. Then we have our roll bar, that kind of stuff, which we're not gonna use. Then, the part that we really didn't take apart is our interior. We have our interior tub here. It's not going to be as easy as I was hoping to pick out some of the details in there, but we will be able to do a nice carpet job in there. And the nice thing is, if you look at the way this is done, that back seat will fold down flat, so that makes it relatively authentic. That's kind of cool. So we'll be able to do some real nice work there. So that'll go into interior. Might have to change our interior tub. Now, the one thing about MPC that I'm not the biggest fan of is that. I would much prefer having the exhaust separate, put it in there, paint it separately, fuel tank separately, you know, suspension, all that separately. But MPC, this is the way they do it. It does give you the options for ride height, which is, let's see if I can point it out to you, the options for ride height, which is nice. So, yeah. That'll wind up there. And then, of course, the body, which is also body color, which is, I'm probably going to have to rearrange this a little bit, but you get the gist of how this is actually paint, how I set this up and get it ready for paint. I will pull my paint colors out and I will put them in each bin, like with an engine. Say it's a Hemi. I can maybe go with this orange right here and just say, okay, that's going to be my engine color. So, but all of that will be determined here shortly, because this is one, I think I'm going to get started on it here in the next, I'll probably get started on it tomorrow. I want to get my bench cleaned off a little bit. I want to get a little bit of work done on the motorcycle as well. Let me get the camera turned around and we'll close this video out. Well, I'm going to get ready to close this video out, but I thought real quick I will show you what I use for my vinyl roof. I use this stuff right here, frog tape. I'm not sponsored by them, so, you know, I get this stuff at Walmart. You get it in the case, you know, in this plastic case like this, which is reusable. You get it, it costs about $1 more, then you can get the refills, and it works great. Now let's see if this is a 2-inch variety. Let's see if the 2-inch is going to fit for my roof on my Barracuda. Because as you know, we're doing just this center part here, like from here to here, and inside there is going to be the vinyl roof. And to me, that looks like a perfect fit. I will, if I need to, I'll run some styrene right between, basically it'll be from the edge of the A-pillar here right down to the window, or the edge of the C-pillar there. I think that'll work out great. So that right there is the 69 Barracuda. It will be done in a very bright red. And like I said, the top is going to be black. Honestly, what I'd love to do, I'd love to put a mod top on it, but my father-in-law probably wouldn't find the humor in that. He wasn't the real flower power guy, so yeah. But anyway, that is going to be my tribute to my mother-in-law and gift to my father-in-law here probably at his birthday in September. And I also have another gift for him coming up at Christmas. So yeah, that'll be fun. A couple projects coming up just for him. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have fun building. Have a great week. We will see you on What Did You Buy Wednesday. I picked up a couple of things that I'm kind of excited about. A couple of them are things I can get to work on other projects for that have been kind of in the wings. So we will talk to you guys later. Have fun.